Thank you so much. Who here, I want to get a show of hands, who here thinks they could run 10 kilometers right now? How about a marathon? How about 100 kilometers right now? Just as I thought, more and more hands dropped as the distance increased. Today I want to talk to you about what I call the possible mindset. When I was 21 years old, I was training at the Olympic Oval in Calgary, pursuing my goal of making the national short track speed skating team. My longest race took roughly 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And running 10 kilometers was about all I could fathom. But when I heard about Impossible to Possible's Running Tunisia expedition, I was intrigued. Impossible to Possible, or I2P's mandate, is to educate, inspire, and empower young people through adventure. And to do this, they take youth ages 17 to 21 all over the world to perform inspiring feats of endurance. While performing these endurance events, the youth communicate with thousands of students from around the world about world issues. We've had youth ambassadors run or trek in some of the most demanding environments in the world, from the Sahara Desert in India to the Akshaya Pass in Nunavut. While I'd always enjoyed adventure and challenging myself physically, this felt a little bit crazy, but I knew that if I didn't apply, I'd regret it. And 4 months later, I found myself facing down my biggest challenge ever, running approximately a marathon per day for 7 days across the Sahara Desert in Tunisia. So what did I do when I'd been chosen? Well, after I spent about 48 hours hopped up on excitement and adrenaline, you'd think that I would have taken advantage of the world-class training program that was given to me and gotten my butt into running shape. Unfortunately, however, my speed skating season was still in full swing, and I couldn't just give up on all the work that I'd put into that season. So I continued to train for speed skating and threw a short run in here or there and focused on the excitement of going to Africa. In other words, I basked in ignorance. I knew if I did that, I wouldn't panic over the physical feat that I felt in no way prepared to perform. Now, I2P was founded by a guy named Ray Zahab. Formerly a pack-a-day smoker, Ray discovered in his 30s that he was an incredibly gifted endurance athlete. And after a few races, he decided to run across the entire Sahara Desert. In 2007, Ray and a couple of friends ran for 111 days, between 60 and 80 kilometers per day, from Morocco all the way to Egypt, all while filming the documentary Running the Sahara. While in Africa, Ray witnessed the dire water situation that the Saharan countries face and knew he had to do something more meaningful than running races. His dream was to inspire kids like me and like you that they could achieve anything that they put their minds to, which brings me back to my expedition, Running Tunisia. The night before I left to meet my team, I panicked. How was I supposed to run even one marathon when I hadn't run anything over 15 kilometers in my life? I was going to have to tell the team that I was a fraud and that I couldn't do it. A phone call to a friend convinced me that I really had nothing to lose, and I decided I would just go and run as far as I could, however long that ended up being. Looking back, this was the first step in my journey to the possible mindset. When we first arrived in Tunisia, it was overwhelming and intimidating. I was totally disoriented from traveling halfway around the globe and was surrounded by some of the most inspiring and accomplished endurance athletes in the world. But it was those athletes that helped me on my next step towards the possible mindset. From the moment we landed in Tunisia, the entire team encouraged us. You guys are amazing. You're going to be great. We can't wait to see you shine. Were all phrases that were thrown at us pretty much nonstop. At first, it all felt pretty hokey. Like I said, I already felt like a fraud. How could they believe in me when I didn't even believe in myself? On the first day, we ran 18 kilometers, 3 more than I'd ever run in my life. It wasn't too hard. I was too excited about starting, but on day 2, reality set in. After covering 20 kilometers before lunch, I started throwing up about 2 kilometers into the afternoon. Yep, that's a photo of me vomiting in the Sahara Desert, and you got it, it was featured on CNN International. Talk about a glamour shot. My biggest fears were coming true. It seemed that I couldn't do it. It wasn't even the second day, and my body was already throwing in the towel. But luckily, my teammates didn't let me off that easily. We started again in the afternoon, first walking and then running, and by the end of the day, we had completed 33 kilometers, a few short of our goal, but double my longest run nonetheless. The next few days were more of the same. The terrain was treacherous, mostly sand dunes or dirt road. The heat was overbearing, upwards of 35 degrees Celsius daily, and the distances just kept getting longer. Over and over again, it seemed that my body was giving in, but with the encouragement of my teammates, my mind made me keep going. And before I knew it, the 7 days were complete. By the final day, I had settled into the routine of sleep, eat, experience pain, run, hydrate, sleep, eat, and repeat. And you know something? It just kept getting easier. Even though my body was getting more and more tired, it was also adapting to the conditions that we were running in. But more than anything, my mind was finally starting to believe everything that everyone had been telling us. I was strong. I could run far. I had overcome all of my fear and insecurities and successfully run 268 kilometers across the Sahara Desert in just 7 days. Since then, I've used the possible mindset almost daily, from finishing my university degree, which I found incredibly challenging, to running 100 kilometers over 4 mountains in the Philippines, to landing my dream job just a few months ago. My experience in Tunisia completely changed my life for reasons that I could fill a whole day talking about. But the one that I'm here sharing today, the most important one, is that you too can adopt the possible mindset, and you don't even need a team behind you to do it. First, start like I did by getting excited about a potential challenge. Do what you can to prepare for it, but don't let yourself get intimidated by the details. Picture yourself succeeding at the challenge and use positive self-talk like the phrases my support team used to pump yourself up. Then, when the time comes to complete the challenge, just keep putting one foot in front of the other, literally or figuratively, and remember why you wanted to do it in the first place. Imagine the feelings that you'll feel when you succeed, and don't give up on yourself, no matter what. And when it's all said and done and you finished your challenge, don't forget to apply to FEAT Kids so that you can share your adventure and inspire the rest of us. Thank you very much.
Running across the Sahara Desert. Wow. What do you have any plans for another challenge?
I've been doing a few ultras since then. It was actually 4 years ago this month that we went to Tunisia. So I want to get into racing, but I spent so much time as a teenager and as a young adult competing for speed skating that I don't necessarily have a lot of competitive drive in me. What I'm more interested in is just finding cool stuff to do and tackling it. And I think that's a message that I learned through I2P, is that you don't necessarily need a platform like a race. You can do like what Kate did and create your own adventure and find different ways to do things. So I have a few ideas, and I have a job now, so I started an adventure fund, and hopefully we'll do some cool stuff in the coming years.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.